Hey folks, welcome back to Cotswold Collectibles YouTube channel. I'm Greg Brown, owner and president, whatever the hell you want to call me, I don't care, of Cotswold Collectibles. I'm back here with Chuck on, I would say, part 2 of our series dealing with the Ultra Corps 12-inch figure line from Lanard. In the last episode, we talked about the beginnings of the Ultra Corps line starting in 1999 and continuing on into 2000. Mm-hmm. And this week we're going to be talking about kind of like a little bit of the military as well as the police and safety and firemen type of line. So I'll let you take it away.
All right. Well, appreciate you having me on, Greg.
No problem. Glad to have you.
So the first initial 2 waves were very popular. So Lanard decided to carry that and try some new stuff with their 12-inch line.
Right.
These were kind of 2001, 2002 era. Some of them came in Ultra Corps packaging. Some of them came in this Ultra Rescue packaging.
Makes sense.
Some of them came in Walmart packaging. Just however they could distribute them. But typically when they were making these, they had probably stopped making the first 2 waves. So they were not concurrent. They had moved on to search and rescue.
Makes sense.
The hazmat guy, that one is actually not considered part of the Ultra Rescue wave. This version of them, that one was actually part of the Ultra Corps wave. But I wanted to put them with this one because the version of this figure that came with Ultra Rescue had the metallic suit. And
oh, really?
Yeah. But the problem is the Ultra Corps metallic suits are starting to flake off and they get real messy. So I didn't decide to invest in one. But this is the hazmat guy. He was one of the first ones I was hunting for when I got back in Ultra Corps. He's very unconventional, very cool, very striking looking figure. There's a basic version of him that doesn't come with the backpack, but still has the mask and the gloves, so you can still have fun with him. But it's just
he doesn't die.
Yeah, so he doesn't die. But he's just how often do you see a hazmat in 1/6 scale?
Not often, not often, especially with it having the hazmat symbol in the front and everything like that. I mean, boom, it's done.
It's a cool figure, very simple. You know, he worked well. You know, if you were a kid playing with monsters or something, you'd be good for that. The next one is what they call him the medical alert. He's kind of like a mountain search and rescue type figure.
Right.
A lot of different versions of that figure exist. There's basic versions. There's a version with this one which has more of these deluxe pouches. There's a version of this figure that if you see down there, it comes with a dog.
Right.
There's a version of this figure that I think comes with a snowmobile that doesn't come with a dog. There's a blue version of this figure that's shown on this card, and I've seen it in person as well. A lot of different versions of the figure. He's another unconventional figure that's also very interesting. He's got this cool medical green color to him that I like a lot.
Yeah, and like we were talking about before we started filming, this really captures what you're talking about in the last film about the pouches being able to attach via Velcro. Yeah, which is a pretty neat concept because I mean this one has like the light sticks and the pouches that could fit on the leg and the chest and such like that. So yeah, this one definitely kind of has that Alpine rescue kind of vibe to it. Yeah, he's got the shovel and everything. Pretty cool.
Yep.
Pretty cool. I like the dog too.
The dog's very solid. Yeah. And they reuse this dog for a lot of different figures.
Dog is like, you could kill a small child with that thing.
You could. It's heavy.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about the dogs is they put those dogs with all types of different versions of core figures all across the world. You know, you might think a figure may not need a dog, and they throw a dog in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just as a selling point. Maybe they had extra dogs at the factory. Who knows?
They said, the Kmart said, can you put a dog in it? We got you.
Yeah, so they put a dog in there.
You want a dog? Yeah.
Speaking of dogs, this is the ultra decked out police officer that they had. Comes with the blue vest, baton, pistol, fun accessory bag, and of course comes with this nice German Shepherd. Speaking of distribution, these figures are, I'm not going to say they're rare. They are rarer than any of the figures we had in the last video.
Right.
I'll tell you that much.
Well, what's neat about this one is, I mean, this is the vest that was in the 99 series, the Ninja, whatever it was. They colored it blue, but it really kind of works with, it's kind of like a body armor per se.
Yep.
And I like the cap. That's pretty cool with the checkerboard.
Yeah.
So what's in the bag?
The bag's got all kinds of just miscellaneous police accessories in there.
Oh wow, this came with this guy?
Yeah, it came with that one. This was the like the most deluxe cop figure I've seen. It was in a Kid Connection packaging from Walmart.
Be serious, because it's got a camera, bullhorn,
handcuffs, grenades, because police officers need grenades.
What the hell?
Got a radio.
Nice radio. Another grenade, or whatever the heck that was. Oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's these little things, a little clipboard, crime scene report. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, it's those small little things. Binoculars, everybody had it. But things like that, they just add that extra little bit of playability.
Yeah, and then we're getting a figure with, crap ton of accessories, a dog, and soft goods, and probably the figure maybe cost less than $15 at Walmart.
No lie. So. And that dog is considerably less in weight.
Yes.
Than the other one.
There are versions of the cop figure in other that I've seen with other packaging that had a dog that actually had an interactive noise.
I saw that.
Yeah. I've never seen a talking dog in the United States, but I've seen pictures of the Lanard warehouse sale where this dog is interactive and it comes with a cop figure.
What does he just hit the button and goes, woof?
Yeah.
Woof.
That's a pretty solid leash that comes with it.
That's pretty tight. That is not cheap not plastic, but it's not cheap fabric at all. It's pretty cool. All right, so that's that one.
Cop is cool. Then they had the sheriff figure. The sheriff figure actually came with an ethnic figure, which I thought was cool. This one's not very common either. He came with like a traffic barrier and a traffic vest.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And just not too different from the cop, but different enough for me to want to buy. So, but I think he's pretty solid.
And that leather is actually lasting pretty good on this guy.
Yeah. So it's interesting about the pleather. I don't know if it's pleather, but I always thought just because we talked about the criminals in the last episode, they have those pleather jackets,
and they were deteriorating,
and those have outlasted anything that pleather related that Hasbro made.
Yeah. If you were in the club in the very beginnings, you would get a leather jacket.
Yeah, with the nice convention things on the
back of it. Yeah. And
those are gone now.
Yeah, those.
But the Lanard pleather has stood the test of time. This guy is interesting. He is very, very hard to find. I only found him on an eBay listing once.
Really?
Yeah, and that's when I bought him. You were only able to get him if you bought a big tent set. So it was a SWAT guy. He also came with the same German Shepherd.
Right.
He came with a tent, and he came with like a table to plan out a SWAT raid.
That's kind of cool. The tent thing. It'd be kind of like the base operations or whatever.
But I've never seen that figure as like a basic figure or anything. He always just came with a tent.
Which would make sense. He would probably, the money would probably be going to that one. Cool.
So, and for some reason they gave him tennis shoes instead of boots. I never understood that.
He was from California.
Yeah. Here is the firefighter. This is the pretty decked out version. He's just your standard firefighter. He's got his gas tank in the back. It's the same gas tank as the hazmat guy.
I was looking at that. Yeah. It's the same thing, and it's really cool because you just change the colors, and it just totally changes that dynamic of the guy.
Totally different purpose.
Even the nozzle's the same, but still, you can use it for that. And axe is really cool. Got the big bright hatchet and the gas mask. These are always popular. These fire guys.
And it's always nice to have, I know in Lego, a fireman versus actually having the fireman equipment. They always have more firemen out there than fireman equipment.
Really?
It's but I also find that similar with action figures. You always seem to have more action figures of firemen out there than, a gas mask and an oxygen tank. But it's nice that Ultra Corps dedicated, an oxygen tank and the gas mask and everything to make actually fully functional firefighter.
And what's really cool, and you know this as well as I do, is almost every toy manufacturer out there does a fireman set.
Yeah.
I mean, Hasbro did multiple different ones during their classic collection line. M&C Toy Center, we know, man, they did a ton of different ones. I mean, in one of your videos.
Well, M&C was another one. They made more firemen than they did fire equipment.
Right.
Like, and if you got a fireman with the oxygen tank and the mask, it was like, this is special.
Right.
You know, but they made different colors of this guy. This is the black version. Here's the undressed blue version. Here's a pictured version on the box, which is khaki. I've seen that version too. I just don't have it. Yeah. So they made different versions.
Did they do a yellow version?
Maybe.
The khaki one sounds interesting. That kind of reminds me of what was that? What was that show?
Which one?
Oh, it had. Man, I'm totally dating myself because you're way younger than I am. But it had Randolph Mantooth. Emergency. I swear to God, it was Randolph Mantooth, the most manly name you'd ever heard of.
And they had khaki.
I swear to God, they had khaki. It was
These were the search and rescue guys, and they.
That's really cool.
Yeah, they didn't really make a lot of like dedicated vehicles for him. But they made like maybe like a snowmobile for him. They never. Not that I've seen. I've never seen anything as full-fledged as like a police car or a fire engine. Power Team did actually make all that stuff, but that stuff was pretty rare in the United States back then. It's even rarer now.
And the one thing that I was going to touch on was when you said Ultra Rescue. This has a connection to what they were doing in 3 3/4 inch because they had their military line, but I want to say that they also had an Ultra Rescue.
I remember that
3/4 inch.
Yes,
because I have one of their 6-wheeled ATVs that they had made into kind of like an emergency. It was in red and white with a winch.
Yeah.
And they even had like road cones and construction workers.
I remember they had like a state trooper with aviator glasses.
Yeah.
They had a motorcycle cop.
Yeah.
Those were really cool. And those actually, speaking of them, those actually are pretty expensive on eBay.
Really?
Yeah. If you try to get them in box.
I need to start digging in my totes, man.
Yeah, so like the things I've seen that go high for the small ones on eBay is the Cop series and the 3 3/4 females that they made.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Those were. If you try to buy those now in box complete, it fetches pretty big money. Which is crazy because these were like, these weren't the G.I. Joes at the time. This was the stuff that you bought when you had extra money and you weren't saving up for. You just wanted to get something.
Well, see, that's the thing that's going on right now is because like when I collected Masters of the Universe in the 80s, there's Masters of the Universe. And then I always talk about the 5 and dimes. And, you had your Remco had their line, and I can't remember what they were, but there was one guy that was a gray body with white accents with I forget what the color of the cape, but he had a skull head. And of course, that was always Skeletor's little brother in my thing. He was like, and he's commanding a very high dollar amount because people are now going into the secondary. And then the market, or not the secondary tier, or the second tier of what people are offering that you found at the 5 and dimes that were the less desirables. Yeah. And and that's the same thing.
And this stuff isn't easy to find on eBay either. Like,
no.
You type on eBay, I want the G.I. Joe Crash Crew, and you immediately get listings for the G.I. Joe, firemen and all that stuff. But with these, if I type in Corps police officer, there's no guarantee that any 3 of these figures will show up in any decent condition on eBay.
Well, and that's part of the confusing factor, and not so much with these guys, but when you get over to these military guys, these, for somebody who is not a collector and is just digging through old, storage totes or whatever, these were going to be G.I. Joes.
Yeah.
They're just going to put 12-inch G.I. Joes.
Yeah.
And because they don't know the difference.
They don't.
Unless it's in the box where you can read it and says Ultra Rescue, they're not going to know what it is.
Yeah. Very cool series.
Very nice.
And then these were such a hit. They transitioned roughly to 2003. I think they wanted to give, realistic military a try. So they made their camos a little more realistic, and they tried to give them more realistic type of weapons. They gave, they put kind of a weathered look on the metal.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah,
They weathered the boots to give a little bit of dusty.
yeah.
feeling.
They try to. I don't think they were like trying to compete with Dragon or anything, but they were just trying a more realistic look. Most of these I have here. These are very hard to find in box.
Really?
Yes. If you try to buy these in box, like if you tried to get the most decked out Navy SEAL figure in a box, if you happen to find it on eBay, somebody's probably charging like $50 for it.
Yeah, I'd really, like I said, I remember more of the 1999, 2000 series, kind of the adventure theme. I really don't remember so much of this, but yeah.
Yeah, these were, and here's kind of
that's cool.
Yeah, this is one of the ways they were packaged. This was sold at Kmart. Was originally $9.99 and reduced to $8. Yeah, $8. The $10 is great price.
Still a great price.
But this was the Urban Commando. He's my favorite out of the wave, just because he's got an unconventional camo. But these will typically come in a packaging like this, with nice accessories, laid out, more realistic stuff. Like they didn't have this shield or this vest in the previous waves. And then, here's some.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, some of their marketing. They actually have titles for all these figures. And then they recolored some of their Ultra Corps vehicles, which we'll talk about later, right, to match some of these more modern patterns here.
Yeah, I remember the M2 because it had that those, I don't know if they're rods to keep it from touching the barrel, but I remember when that one came out.
Yeah, that's a kind of a rare piece now.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah, you can't find that easily. But this guy they have classified as just a generic Marine.
Right.
His clothes came torn like that. This guy they have classified as the field gunner, which you were just talking about. Mm-hmm. Navy SEAL. These I got from a big uniform pack from like JCPenney, which came with like all the uniforms.
So not the figures.
Not the figures, and like just like their core accessories didn't come with like the deluxe stuff. Like so, like my combat guy here doesn't have the shield like he does in the deluxe version.
Which makes sense.
But the Navy SEAL, you got your sniper here. You got the ghillie suit part of it. I kept that in the bag because it's starting to deteriorate.
Really?
Yeah.
It's strange that the leather's doing good, but the fabric.
Yeah, the pleather's good, but that's not doing well. And then their metallic suits are starting to flake off too.
Interesting.
And we'll talk about that in the next video. This is a sniper. So one of the weaker parts about the core figures I found is they have always been lacking in strong belts. This is kind of like their standard belt. It's not really good for like holding pistols or adding pouches to it or anything. A lot of them also come with like harness belts. They never made like a good strong belt pattern like Power Team did.
Yeah, I was just noticing that most of these guys did not have belts in that.
Yeah.
So is that like, and I'm not going to try to touch the thing, but is that just like the little tongue that comes through and pressure? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can.
Yeah.
The gun's awesome though.
Yeah, the gun's cool. Again, they were going for a more realistic look, so it's very proportional and it's well colored and stuff like that.
Pretty cool.
Here's their Desert Chocolate Chip. They call him Army Ranger.
Army Ranger.
Army Ranger, and then you got your less deluxe version of the Urban Commando up there. And this was kind of the closest they made to realistic helmets. Was just these helmets with some sponges in there.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen a core helmet where they took the fabric and put it on top of the helmet, put like a strap to it.
Even with the deluxe sets?
Even the deluxe sets, this guy just comes with the same standard black helmet without a strap or anything.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they had a little bit more attention on kind of like these guys, and this one they were just kind of really testing the waters a little bit, but not really. Because, I'm not trying to sidestep these guys, but we saw those backpacks in the last video, just the playability and everything like that. And with this one, it was like, I don't know if they're just learning about military. Probably you would think they would kind of know because of what.
Well, what might have been is they were developing so much new tooling, trying to make all those more realistic looking weapons that they had to sacrifice other things.
Right. True that.
Because before this line, the only rifle that they had made was the big sci-fi looking rifle.
That sci-fi looking rifle that just had color variations of.
So this around 2003 is when they finally started making realistic looking stuff. So
it's really interesting. It's really interesting.
And again, these are various core figures that I got from thrift stores and yard sales and stuff. Most of the times when these figures came in these costumes, they kind of had like a stained black look to them, like they had been in combat for a little while or something. So again, they were trying to go for like a military realistic look, but ultimately I was still okay with these figures because they still have a lot of good play value with them.
One thing I was going to ask you, and I meant to ask you in the other video, was, I think you're really fortunate that you can actually use the images to kind of figure out how you can put things together and what goes with what. Are there any resources online that are dedicated to Ultra Corps?
Not really.
Not really.
Not really. You get tids and bits from the actual Lanard Instagram, where they'll put out like some interesting things about some old product they had.
Right.
But like as far as a Ultra Corps Lanard database, doesn't exist. If it does, please let me know. I would love to research it. That's kind of one of the reasons why I love collecting these in Power Team, is because there's not a lot of research on that.
It's kind of the weird thing. I mean, I know that there's a devoted following for the 3 3/4 inch core guys, and I've found pages, on the different ones that they've had.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's again, that's kind of the reason why when you approached me on doing this, I really would like to discuss it, because there's not a lot of information out there, and I don't think a lot of people talk about it, but it's a very rich history of product that they came out with. So.
And I'll tell you one thing, like these figures in a box, unopened, I don't find them a lot at conventions.
No.
Either they don't show up, or when they do, people buy them. Because I could see somebody seeing the hazmat guy and thinking maybe they don't like the core figure inside of it, but they put a G.I. Joe in that hazmat costume.
He definitely has that G.I. Joe Adventure Team vibe to him, so I could see. And same thing with this guy here.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them, even the firemen. But it's kind of interesting to notice the dynamic here versus the dynamic here. So, if anybody knows anything, I mean, I'm by no means an expert, and Chuck is.
Neither am I.
Chuck is a purveyor of wisdom on this thing. So if you guys know anything about these things, feel free to comment in the comments below and let us know. I mean, if there's a website that you know about or whatever, we're going by the information we have, but there's not a lot of information out there. So, this is a community type of thing. And, if you give us some information, I'm sure Chuck will take that, come out there, and if we can find those items, we'd be happy to do another video in the near future. But this wraps up this week's episode. What are we going to talk about next week?
Next week, we'll talk about one of their rarer lines where they were still using soft goods and they're focusing more on extreme sports and adventure.
The old extreme. The old 1990s and 2000s extreme.
Yeah.
Well, cool beans. Well, I forgot to mention this in the last video. Hey, if this is the first time you're ever seeing our video, make sure that you like and subscribe to this page. As we do with all of our other videos, we really try to focus on 12-inch figures, but we do focus on toys in general. We talk about vintage toys, and we also talk about toys that are coming out. But like and subscribe, and let us know in the comments below anything that you'd like to hear from us to talk about in future videos, or just comment about what we were talking about in this video. So until then, keep collecting.